Welcome to the FeelsCast. I'm Adam.
And my name is Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way, and I have long ebony black hair, parentheses, that's how I got my name, close parentheses, with purple streaks and red tips that reach my mid-back, and icy blue eyes like limpid tears, and a lot of people tell me I look like Amy Lee, parentheses, AN, if you don't know who she is, get the hell out of here, close parentheses. I'm not related to Gerard Way, but I wish I was because he's a major fucking hottie. I'm a vampire, but my teeth are straight and white. I have pale white skin. I'm also a witch. And I go to a magic school called Hogwarts in England, where I'm in the 7th year, parentheses, I'm 17, close parentheses. I'm a goth, parentheses, in case you couldn't tell, close parentheses, and I wear mostly black. I love Hot Topic, and I buy all my clothes from there. For example, today I was wearing a black corset with matching lace around it and a black leather miniskirt, pink fishnets, and black combat boots. I was wearing black lipstick, white foundation, black eyeliner, and red eyeshadow.
And today's topic is comic books. We've read comic books for a while. It's something we both grew up with. We kind of had a resurgence of them a couple years back.
Yeah.
You got really into Batman and other DC properties.
More like Robin.
You have your Robin as your husbando.
My babies, more like.
All of your Robins.
All of my Robins, including all the ones that were never seen.
Like Robot Future Robin.
Exactly.
From that one episode of Brave and the Bold.
Yep. He's my baby.
Of course.
He's the babiest of my babies.
Yeah. So, today we're just kind of talking about, like, comics that we like to read, or have read. Like, series that, like, we could really recommend.
Yeah. This is including, like, from major publishing titles to, like, self-published. I
don't think we have any I don't have any self-publishers.
No? Okay. Well, less major then.
This is probably my favorite comic book series of all time. It's called Next Wave Agents of Hate. Oh. It's a Marvel comic. It takes place in the Marvel universe, sort of, maybe a little.
Kind of.
Hypothetically.
Those are the best.
I mean, let me outline the plot for you. Hate, which is a clandestine anti-terrorist organization, think S.H.I.E.L.D., was recently bought out by a terrorist organization.
Cool.
The Beyond Corporation. And their Avengers-like group of superheroes, Next Wave, go, fuck that noise, steal a ship from their it's not a helicarrier, it's the opposite of a helicarrier. It's 4 submarines duct taped together. That flies. That's not a joke. It's literally 4 submarines, like, stitched together with, like, a rocket.
Oh my god.
Yeah. They steal a bunch of information from the Beyond Corporation. There's a lot of rhyming accidentally with that. And they go around stopping their big evil plots to take over the world or ruin it or whatever. Which include summoning Fing Fang Foom, the giant dragon thing. Making a deal with Mormondo, the devil, for porn and women. I think Amy Lee, actually. And finding a secret city that was floating over, like, the middle of America. The Plain States. That is undetectable by anything.
Alright.
At its core, it's a parody of everything that is comics, while also stripping away all that makes up modern comics. Like, any heavy plots, any major character development, any, like, angstiness or darkness or grim darkness is taken away for more punching.
That sounds cool.
It's Next Wave Agents of Hate. We stop crime by punching it in the face.
Sounds like Yusuke Urameshi.
It kind of is. It's so good. The team that makes it's a superhero team book. It's 4 Marvel characters that exist within their universe, and one made specifically for the comic. Monica Rambeau, who has recently been making appearances in the comic again, wearing her Next Wave outfit, which I love, because they all wear, like, long jackets because they're cool. They're cool. That's cool and punching things are basically what these 2 comics are. She was Miss Marvel for a while, and she once led the Avengers, as she will always remind you. And she's making a comeback. She's appearing in the comics again, which makes me really happy, because I love Monica Rambeau. She was just so cool, and she had the ability to microwave things.
Awesome.
Boom Boom was there. She was a mutant who had the ability to make small bombs. She has like
I know Boom Boom.
Yeah, she's a pickpocket too.
She was in X-Men Evolution.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. She's there. She's kind of ditzy and likes to steal things and makes explosions. And she has a million comic book names, like hero names. They make jokes about that.
Cool.
Elsa, who is the
Ice Queen.
No,
I know.
I was about to say, but then I forgot that existed. Great. She's like a Lara Croft type. Like she was made when Tomb Raider was being made, like the games. So people were like, "Oh, well, let's get in on that." And she's like fights demons and shit with weapons, and she's British. Or European, I don't know. She speaks with an accent.
The Tommy Wiseau accent.
She actually might. Well, she has a shirt with the EU symbol on it, but it's not like in English. It's weird. I love her. She's great. She has a guitar case with. But
just imagine guns. Her with Tommy, like speaking like Tommy Wiseau. That's like, excellent.
Yeah. Picture Tommy Wiseau, but actually attractive with red hair.
Are you saying Tommy Wiseau is not attractive?
Alright, you make a valid point. Then Machine Man, who is an old comic book character. Picture Bender, but with human skin.
Weird.
Yeah, I know. He looks like a human, but he's got, like, robot eyes, and he can do the stretchy thing, and he likes to drink beer, and he calls humans flesh bags.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, he's Bender, essentially.
He's Bender, alright.
And he showed up in a bunch of other things, too. Like, he was in Marvel Zombies for a while.
Cool.
Because he's a robot, and he's like, fuck, I'm just gonna kill all the zombies, because lol, this is robot paradise. I get to kill flesh bags, and no one stops me. He's not, they're all terrible heroes. And then the captain, whose name is the Captain, he's the fourth member.
Cool.
Yeah. He's basically Superman, but drunk and from Brooklyn.
I like it.
he doesn't
sign me up.
He doesn't remember how he got his powers.
Because he was drunk.
Because he was drunk when he got his powers. They actually show a flashback to, like, aliens gifting him his powers. Like, you shall become the savior of your race. And then he, like, throws up on them and punches one of them. Because he's, like, so drunk. And he can't... He's called the Captain because he was called Captain Blank. Like, curse word removed here. Because he couldn't have a good name. And he got sued for being any other captain because every other captain is taken. So he's like, fuck it, I'll be Captain Shit. And then Captain America beat him up and washed his mouth out with soap. So now he's just the captain. But it's a really good comic series, because it distills everything good about comics into a punch. And it's like, it's also a parody, because, like, Nick Fury's there, but he's not Nick Fury. It's, like, Rick Anger.
Oh, man. Okay. Moving on, because...
Wait, I do want to make a connection with a modern comic that's about they just announced.
Okay.
Have you heard about Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur?
Vaguely remembering this.
Well, Devil Dinosaur is an old school comic character. He's literally a red dinosaur, like a red T-Rex. And he used to have a monkey thing that hung around him called Moon Boy, and he was psychic. And he was like an ape man kind of dealy. They're bringing Devil Dinosaur back, but with Moon Girl, who's an African American girl with the same powers as Moon Boy, and they're gonna fight crime together. It's gonna be cool and cute.
Cool.
The big villain the big reveal, quote unquote, at the end of Next Wave is that the guy pulling all the strings was Devil Dinosaur in like a suave coat.
Oh, that's awesome!
and he like admits he killed and ate Moon Boy, and I always hated him. He was an annoying human.
Oh,
and
no.
All I can think of is, oh my god, Devil Dinosaur is going to kill this little girl.
Oh,
He's going to eat her. We need Next Wave to save them.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Next topic.
Yeah, so that's Next Wave. A series I'm currently reading, it's still in publication and stuff, but I like to wait for the trades because...
Yeah, it's easier that way.
Yeah.
And you save money.
It's called Rat Queens. It's a fantasy sword and sorcery comic book.
I think you've showed me this before.
I have. I bought the first issue, or the first trade paperback with you.
Oh, yeah, and then we ate Froyo, and you ate it. I mean, read it.
I ate the comic.
You ate the comic, and you read the Froyo.
Yeah. It was a good day.
It was a great day.
But yeah, it's something I heard about on the internet, but I couldn't find in any comic book shop, mostly because I always forgot the name. I knew it was I always forgot either Rat or Queen. I was like, it's something Queens.
Or something
Vermin Rat. Queens? Or I know it's Rat something. Rat Leaders? Shit, I don't know.
It's funny how you never connected this.
No, I never put the two, because it was always like months apart, and I couldn't remember because I'd always forget what it was. Where did I last see it? And just be searching on my phone in the middle of a comic book store for 2 hours. But yeah, it's a comedy, not comedy, but it's a sword and sorcery action series about an all-female adventuring party. I almost said guild, but they're not exactly. I think in the comic they're a guild, but
it's funny because growing up, when I used to read like all of the books, that would be the genre I'd go towards. Basically, sword and sorcery and female protagonists. But when we got
the good shit,
but when you go into the comic world, there's not as much of that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of very interesting to hear that they have a book specifically garnered to that one specific
niche genre.
Yeah. I mean, I would read it. I honestly think I should.
Good.
But like you said, it's a very odd title for some reason. I can't remember it ever.
Yeah, it's The Rat Queens.
The Rat Queens. All right, I'm going to have to look into
it. Remind me, next time I see you, I'll lend you the two.
Yeah, do that.
Issues.
Do that. I will remind you forever.
Yeah, but so it's basic sword and sorcery. They're a adventuring group in a town, and the town kind of hates them because they party hard and they kill lots of things. They're protecting the town, but also they're gonna destroy the town one day just from getting drunk and getting high. And
that sounds like my MMO group.
I like to make a joke when I read and watch fantasy material, this is like a D&D game I played, ha ha ha. This is actually like a D&D party, where they're they're just completely fucking up. Whatevs, it makes sense.
That's fun. One day, you will get me into one of your D&D groups.
Yes.
Because I really want to play.
It's so good. But the group is four girls, 4 women, I'm completely blanking on all their names, but it's because they have fantasy names. They're not. It's not like Betty, Steven, Janice.
Betty Spaghetti.
It's fantasy names, so I actually think the one character's name might be Betty. Well, Betty, if I'm right, the character I'm thinking of, she's a smidgen, which is their version of a halfling, which is their version of a hobbit, because hobbit is trademarked, so halfling, but halfling is trademarked, so smidgen.
Smidgen's very cute.
I know, I
really like it.
She's the party thief, and also the party drug. She likes drugs and candy. She has a cocktail that is like a drink that is mostly like sugar, candy, and magic mushrooms.
Cool.
She's awesome.
And then one cocktail will knock her out?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because she'll just get high and have a party. She's awesome. There's a witch sorceress lady who's like she's like kind of their leader. I would argue she's the protagonist. She's like really badass and she can harness dark magic, and she's also banging like the town guard captain because they have like a history together. And they're like, we can't keep doing this. I have to arrest you because you literally blew up half the town. She's just like, vagina? And he's like, God damn you, woman.
Was that actually one of the interactions?
I'm simplifying it, but yes.
I just want, like, that one. Someone needs to draw a parody of that. It's just her saying, vagina?
Like, really, like, pointing at it, like, vagina, and he's just like, God fucking
like
damn
neon sign, because she's summoning the neon
she has magic pointing at her crotch. That actually sounds like something in the comic, to be fair.
Magic crotch.
There's a cleric kind of girl, she has Healy magic, who was once part of a dark cult of a Cthulhu-type monster, but now she left it because she's like, I don't fucking believe in that, and even if I did, I don't want to worship it. Fuck.
Sounds reasonable.
She's cool. She's the one who's always, like, knows the arcane lore, and the one who's the sober one of the 4, even when everyone else.
Smart one, quote-unquote.
If you were to split them up into other things, she would be the smart one, yeah. Like, they end one of the comics with a party that they're all having, and she's just kind of like, alright, I'm at a party, reading my book. Please leave me, people. I just want to read my book. she's like, a little socially awkward.
She sounds like us.
Yeah, she's really cool. And they're all badass. And then my favorite character is a dwarf. She's a dwarf warrior.
Does she have a beard?
No.
Oh.
Because she shaves it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So she does
grow a beard. Yeah, she does grow a beard, and it's considered, like, dishonorable to shave it. But she's like, fuck it, I'm my own woman.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Dad. And she shaves her beard and goes off adventuring, because it's revealed that she's part of, like, a big, rich family who, like, actually do fashion shows with, like, armor.
Cool.
And she's, like, she was supposed to be, like, one of their main people. Like, oh, you're our main model. You're the daughter of the guy who makes all this shit. You gotta show it off. And she was like, no, fuck it. I'm leaving you guys and shaving my beard.
Peace.
She was badass and awesome. And also she's my type of player character where, like, you want to be cool and you want to have, like, a really cool line when you go into battle. And she's like, I'm still thinking of one. Alright, that wasn't my best work, but we're going to fight!
She sounds cute.
She's the best. And she sleeps with Orc Tom. There's another adventuring party in the town. There's, like, a bunch. But there's one that I think they're called the Four Toms, because there are 4 guys named Tom. So it's like Human Tom, Dwarf Tom, Orc Tom, Smidgen Tom. That's how you separate them.
Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, it got some really good fantasy action in it. It's really funny. There's a recurring joke about this guy named Gary, who's, like, a town guard, who everyone fucking hates. Because he's just that guy who, like, points out the problem. It's like, fuck you, Gary. No one wants you here. Did someone call for us to help? No one did. Fuck you, Gary.
Nobody likes you.
Nobody likes Gary.
Go back home.
Go back home, Gary. You destroyed my home.
Go back to your rubble.
Go back to your rubble. So it's super good, and the trades are really well done. Like,
I'm gonna have to pick that up.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the 3rd volume to come out now, because I think they haven't. There hasn't been enough new releases to get the 3rd volume.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The required 6 to 8 comics, but it's good.
And I've noticed that a lot of these comics that we like reading basically involve a group.
Yeah,
like the one I really liked in the beginning was The Runaways.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really remember how they got together, but for some... I remember now. So, these are the kids of supervillains, basically. Mm-hmm. So, they all have, like, their own powers or whatever. And they didn't want to be villains. Yeah. So, they run away from home.
That's a really simple,
hence the
explanation.
Title. Yeah.
It's like, we're runaways. What would we call ourselves?
The Runaways.
Alright, fine. Well, let's do it.
I don't think that's what they called themselves. It's just what happened. They happened to be called. And they meet up with each other, and I forget what happens, but I think their parents, like, either die or something. It's been a really long time since I've read The Runaways. Yeah. But, it was a very sweet story, and I really liked the original person who wrote it. I think his name was, like, Brian Vong or something. Mm-hmm. He also writes Saga, which is also another good one.
Yeah.
But Runaways is very cute. So there's like a bunch of kids and they just want to not be evil, but they're afraid that they are going to be intrinsically evil because their parents were. So there's like a witch character. There's the strong character. There's, I guess, the human.
the human gnome of the group. He's like, I don't fucking have powers. Fuck it. I'm the guy who has, like, the sword. I'm the Hawkeye.
The coolest character, Gertrude, who has a telepathic connection to a dinosaur. She dies, though.
Oh, why did you... I was so happy for 30 seconds, because I was like, oh...
No, like, it was, like, the saddest thing,
Wait,
though.
the girl die or the dinosaur dies?
The girl dies.
Ah!
But the dinosaur lives because, the telepathic connection moves on to the boyfriend, Jace. Who... I have so much grief about because in the second, when they passed on the writer or artist and everything, and they moved on to a new one, they didn't really do Jace's character very justice at all because in the original run, Jace was a well-rounded character. He had, he of course he had his problems and everything, but he wasn't like just a straight-up dumb jock character, which is what he turned out to be in the second run. At least from the first couple of volumes that I read, which is when I dropped it because I couldn't deal with it.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
I've done that with comics.
Yeah, I'm sure, if they're still doing Runaway comics, they might be doing him better justice, but, at the moment, I'm not really into it. And I liked the original artist for, when they did the Runaways at first, so when they switched over, I was just like, this is very hard to get used to.
This art style is completely different.
And the lady who did the covers for all of the Runaway comics... super awesome. They looked so great. I was buying the individual issues because I loved all of the covers.
Nice.
And I just wanted to I still really want to do this one day, like, just, like, cut them all out and, like, frame my entire wall
So
with it.
buy a second copy to destroy.
No, I buy the issues, but I have the trades.
Ah, right. Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Clever.
so... And I buy the issues, like, secondhand, so it's, like, I'm not really buying them for full price.
Yeah.
But they're not, like, that much cheaper, but, you know. But, yeah, Runaways was good for the first couple of issues when Brian was writing it. After he stopped writing it, you can pick it up, but I'm not recommending that issue. It's probably good, but I didn't read it.
The writing overall is probably still strong, but
Yeah.
what they did to your characters were just nah.
Yeah, I didn't really appreciate it. I also like that they crossed over with the Young Avengers every once in a while.
Yeah,
and I also really like the Young Avengers.
they were a Marvel property, so they would every so often Spider-Man would just show up and be like, "Fuck you, I'm Spider-Man."
Spider-Man did show up.
I was joking. That's so cool.
Yeah, and he said he was Batman.
Of course he would. Of course he would. Kind of. Speaking of Batman, of Spider-Man being Batman. I actually don't. I don't mean the current thing of Spider-Man actually just being Batman now and starting Batman making Spider-Man around the world like Batman did. The thing that did that first when there were Batman around the worlds. God, that's such a weird sentence.
Yeah, right.
All right, back in the day before the New 52.
Because fuck the New 52.
Fuck the New 52. There was a storyline where Batman died, and then a bunch of people were vying to become the new Batman, but they also had stories of people who were basically Batman in different countries. I think there was a Mexican Batman who was like really cool. They're all really cool, and there's a Japanese Batman who's basically Kamen Rider, and he has a magical girl sidekick.
Awesome.
I own that comic. It's super good.
Awesome.
And they fight like kaiju and shit. And then there's my favorite one, British Batman.
Knight and Squire?
Knight and Squire.
Yeah.
Knight and Squire are... It's essentially Batman and Robin, but with British stuff. So Knight is a...
So with British stuff.
Knight is like a duke instead of just being a millionaire. He's like a famous duke.
He's like noble.
Yeah. And like in real life, he's kind of like a nerdy guy. Like not nerdy, but he's like, he has trouble talking to people.
Aww.
He goes on a date. They show him going on a date with someone, and I think in comic she's like a seer or something, like she could see the future. But like he's just awkward throughout it. He's like that British awkward gentleman, like I'm so sorry. And Squire is his like next in line, and he was once Squire, so he took up the mantle after the last Knight died.
Right.
So he's going to do the same thing with the current Squire, who's a girl. Who she either has a superpower or she doesn't, but she has the power to understand any dialect and language.
That's cool.
But it's either a superpower or it's just because she's Cockney and she can understand what Cockney people are saying. She can understand every British accent because there's like 50. Or she has a superpower. I don't remember which. I just like the idea.
I remember seeing her in Battle for the Cow.
Yeah, they had a short cameo in it.
Yeah, I really thought it was really cool.
They had a special run of Knight and Squire, and they made, I think, 1,000 heroes and villains for it to just populate this British superhero world that doesn't exist really because super comics are American centric. It's because we are most of the writers are in America writing. You write about what you see.
Yeah,
it's like how most manga take place in Japan
because it's Japanese. Yeah, it makes sense.
You
can't really fault that.
Yeah, you write it's around you, and
you write what you know.
Yeah.
I mean, if you try to write what you don't know, you sound like an ass.
So, in order to make this, that just means there's a lack of British heroes and stuff in the DC universe at the time. So, in order to populate it, they made thousands of heroes and villains who, some of them don't even have full lines, they just show up in panels. And some of them are important and talk, and some of them are just like, hey, I'm this guy in the background. I'm Monty Python guy. Awesome. I drop feet on people.
I like it.
It's super good because it was all very British-centric storylines.
It wasn't one of the comics in our library, one of the Knight and Squire
I feel like it was.
Yeah.
But it was just like a random single shot of it. I don't know why. It was in a school library.
No. Public library.
Oh.
Like in the Northeast.
Oh, yeah.
Like in the Northeast.
I know what library you mean. That was super cool.
Yeah, because I know there were a couple of like actual comics in there.
Yeah. if I'm right, I could be wrong, because this is a storyline I remember clearly, so it could be just one that they had there. They brought back, the scientists cloned and brought back King Richard III, who everyone knows from the Shakespeare play as being this villainous person who killed to get his way to the king, like even killed his own nephews who were like children, killed them himself. He had a hump and he was just ugly, destructful person, and it was just like, I shall rule the British. And they clone him in order to find out the great mystery of, is he actually that dickish, or was he a better person? And at first it's looking like, oh, he's actually a nice guy, and then no, it's secretly he's like he's an actual Shakespeare villain. And he's like, I shall take over the crown again, and he does it through social media. Which at first sounds really lame, but then it's like, oh wait, no, he's just using the tools of the day. It makes sense, and he gets like everyone. He gets really popular on social media, so to combat it, they get Knight's like alter ego, the human version, popular on social media.
Oh my god,
it's so weird.
That is weird.
And then it ends with this weird commentary about, like, American-centric comics and stuff, because the Joker shows up and just fucks shit up. Because, like, there's not a lot of killing in the British comics. They're like, they have a pub where villains and heroes can go and just hang out. And there's magic in the pub that prevents them from fighting.
That's awesome.
I know, so, like, it's like,
So it's like a neutral ground.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's completely neutral ground. You can go in and hang out with, like, the villain you were just stopping from, like, stealing stuff the other day. And just hang out and be friends. And it's, like, a non-professional area. And there's, like, this one guy who
it's
I think...
It's like the defense lawyer with the prosecutor just
yeah.
getting drinks together. It's like, yeah, that case was tough.
Yeah, you beat me good there.
Yeah, no hard feelings, yeah. Right?
And the Joker, he shows up in Britain, he kills a couple people. He kills his British counterpart, who was, like, this old guy who was, like, thinking of retiring, so they let him have this big victory.
Aww.
And he knew they let him, but he was like, thank you.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah, and then the Joker kills him.
Fuck the Joker.
I know! And he goes into the pub, and he's, like, disgusted at the fact that they're all, like, civilized towards each other. Like, yes, we're enemies, but we're civilized British men. And then, like, the magic of the pub stops him from, like, doing anything. And he's just like, fuck it, I'm out of here. You people are freaks.
That's hilarious!
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's another reason I kind of hate the New 52, because these were minor characters in the grand scheme of things, but they were so cool, and they had their own stuff going on.
The New 52 fucked so much shit up. We're not gonna talk about that.
No, we have time.
Not... Right, we have a couple minutes. We can talk about how shitty the 52 is.
Oh.
Like, there are so many established history on these characters, and then when the New 52 came out, they're like, yeah, let's just, fuck that. We're gonna kill off all these people. We're gonna disregard all of the history that already happened with this character. We're not even gonna bother with this character, because fuck this character. And we're gonna start our new thing now. And everybody's timeline is fucked up, everybody's continuity is fucked up, and... yeah, it's fucked up.
I understand on paper why they did it. Like, comics have such a convoluted continuity.
Yeah, I mean, like,
it was hard for someone to get into.
It was a good idea at first, but they didn't sit down all together.
Yeah, they didn't work everything out.
Because a lot of the writers seemed very confused at first, and they were just doing their own thing. And I feel like they were only giving, like, 2 sentences to work on when they started this. So I don't think it's the writer's fault, but it's definitely someone up there that's doing something wrong.
Yeah, this was a big DC fiasco.
Yeah.
And the problem is that they've gone so far they can't reverse it.
Yeah, like, the only other way is to do another reboot, and like after that, I don't think they can risk that at this moment unless they like think about it for the next 10 years.
Like, I will fully admit there have been good things that have came out of the New 52.
I'm sure there are, but I stopped.
Those are things that they could have done without the reboot. It's not like, oh, this character is better now because everything's changed. It's, oh, that character could have existed. You could have done that storyline with that character in this world.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that, like, no good thing happened in the 52. There are a couple. But, like, the bad far outweigh any of the decent shit that happened.
I'm really fearful because they're doing it with the Marvel Universe now.
Yeah, I've heard.
Convergence or something.
Yeah, my friend was telling me about this. I was just like, remember last year when they were doing Marvel? Now they're like, oh, this is not a reboot, this is not a reboot. Yeah. And now they're like, oh yeah, we're doing a fucking reboot. Fuck you.
But their thing is less reboot, and one of the reasons that DC did it was that they were converging other storylines. And So they're converging other universes. So there's not like, Batman, and then there's Batman of World 75, and then Western Batman, and then Batman who's samurai, because samurais took over America. And then, like, they were getting rid of all that and having one world, which then they fucked over because then they made the second world.
Yeah.
Which was whatever.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Comics need to get their shit straight.
Yeah, and they're doing the same thing with the Marvel Universe, because their main big second universe is ending. Like, which I understand. Things have to end at some point. Like, the Ultimates universe has a natural conclusion to it. It had a natural beginning and a natural end. And they're going to... But they want to save the characters from it, like certain characters, like Miles Morales, their Spider-Man. They want to bring him over, and I'm like, that's perfectly fine. You gotta get a couple people off that failing ship.
Right.
But they're doing it with all of their universes, which then ends up having to have them reboot. Which is like, no, please. I like these storylines, I like these characters.
Like, if they're going to do, like, a reboot story, I just need them to have, like, a concise timeline plotted out, and, like, have all the writers on the know before they start on anything.
Which...
Like, so, like...
I feel like Marvel could do it better, but yeah.
They might. Only time will tell how badly things will, blow up in our faces.
Yeah.
Because DC is steadily digging their own grave. It's okay. It's time they stepped off the pedestal.
I mean...
They need to focus more on their anime, like, on their TV shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, they're doing good things with Flash and, The Arrow, and they're doing Vixen now, which seems really awesome. It's going to be animated.
Like,
because I heard Fantastic Four wasn't that great, though.
No, I didn't, but that's Marvel.
Yeah,
but that's also not Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah,
Marvel.
it's weird. I don't really like Movieverse, because, like, they're in the same universe, but then they're like, oh, Sony owns you, and then Disney owned this one. It's like, okay.
Fantastic Four and X-Men, for the most part, and, like, a few other property, like Spider-Man.
I think only Spider-Man recently.
Spider-Man is still technically owned by Sony, but they're, like, letting them use him or something. It's intellectual property disputes that I don't even want to think about, because it gives me a headache. Like, I understand why those things can't be part of the mainline universe, so they have to just do their own thing and kind of ignore what Marvel's doing. Goddamn, like, I will stick by this. Marvel makes really good movies, and DC makes really good television. Like, Marvel television shows famously always are okay at best.
I haven't really started any of the Marvel ones. Like, I know Daredevil came out on Netflix. I haven't started that. So I can't really be a judge for most Marvel shows.
I more meant, like, cartoons that I was thinking of. They're either good and they're canceled before their time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like Young Justice, for example. I really liked Young... Yeah, DC has good TV shows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Young Justice, it was really great. They canceled it for some dumb reason.
Yeah. So I kind of would be happy if DC stopped focusing on movies. Because I'm like, guys, look...
Yeah, they really need to put their full focus on, like, TV shows and DCA universe. Because I really, really like the DC animated universe.
That's something that could be rebooted quite easily.
Because... they left it off at a pretty ambiguous ending, didn't they?
Yeah, they...
Like, they could, theoretically, just pick it back up and be like, 5 years later, shit happened.
Or even just started anew, like...
Oh, yeah.
Do what they did, basically... Actually, this is really funny. DC Animated Universe did what the Marvel Movie Universe did. Disparate series that were connected but didn't really have a big thing, and then one big thing that became their movie universe, or their television universe.
That is really funny.
It's weird. And then DC, like, it's this whole thing of DC trying to reverse engineer what Marvel did when they already accidentally did it. And I don't think Marvel did it on purpose. It was just like, this is the best way to make this happen.
Yeah. That's so weird.
It's weird.
Yeah. Well, comics are weird.
Comics are weird.
And they don't always make sense. And there's always going to be a love-hate and bittersweet kind of feeling towards comics in general, because there's issues of writers and character development, especially when there's so many writers trying to write one character.
Yeah, like,
things will get kind of skewed for a moment.
You're gonna come across, like, I complain about Batman a lot because I grew up with a style of Batman that I still see in comics today, but only very shortly.
Yeah, because Batman's being influenced a lot now by the times of like the darker and grittier Batman.
Yeah,
and
90s.
Yeah, it's not the Batman we grew up with, but the Batman I grew up with was Bruce Timm's Batman, which was the best Batman.
Fair.
But yeah, Batman's an issue. I feel like Batman can literally be diagnosed with like personality disorder.
Yeah, but so could like any comic book character. If you get really nitty gritty, they're all just crazy people beating up other crazy people.
Yeah, but Batman has like 10 story titles to himself, so therefore he is the most diagnosable.
Yeah. I mean, so did Spider-Man for a while.
Oh yeah, but he's Marvel.
So he's Marvel's Batman.
Yeah, he is Marvel's Batman, along with many other Marvel Batmans. Yeah. Yeah.
And on that bombshell of Spider-Man is Batman is Spider-Man, I think we can come to a close.
All right, cool.
So you can find me on Twitter and Tumblr at the Manga Head. Twitter is at sign the Manga Head, and Tumblr is themangahead.tumblr.com.
Correct. Way to go.
I'm hoping that's true. Just Google Manga Head. You'll find me and probably like another weird person that used the name once.
And then you can find your anime review blog.
Right, anime reviews and other stuff.blogspot.com.
Cool. This podcast is also available on iTunes. You can just search it up at the FeelsCast. We're on WordPress at thefeelscast.wordpress.com. You can also follow us on Tumblr at FeelsCast.tumblr.com.
Not the FeelsCast. That was taken.
Yeah, that's something else.
That was another podcast that doesn't exist anymore, I think.
I don't know what it was, but it's no longer there. I mean, I think it's there, but whatever.
Yeah, we don't listen.
Bottom line is, that's not us. That's not us.
Yeah, give us a review or something. Tell us your favorite comic book character.
Or not. I actually don't give a shit.
Yeah, I would like to be polite.
You can be polite, but I also don't care. So, I am Raven Dementia Way.
And I'm Adam, and that was the FeelsCast.
Peace.
Out!
It's John Cena!
It's John Cena!